Reality is not responding to your goals, it's responding to your identity. You're not stuck because of strategy, you're stuck because of who you believe that you are. Most people are broadcasting an old version of themselves. Most people think they need more information, more tactics, and more hustle, but the real problem is internal contradiction. One part of you wants success, but another part fears visibility, pressure, and change. My name is Mark, aka Create Lifestyle, and I'm helping people, especially those over 50, break out of outdated beliefs so that they can create freedom, abundance, peace of mind, residual income, leave a powerful legacy. I call this breaking out of the matrix, and today I'm going a little deep. I'm talking about identity architecture. Why your reality keeps reflecting the version of you that keeps returning internally. So, yeah. So most people, they respond to their identity, not their goals. Most people think that the problem is strategy, that the problem is timing, but that is not correct. Reality is responding to your identity signal, not what you want, but what you constantly are. So, one time I was hanging out, and I was having some dinner and stuff with some friends, and a couple across the way approached me, and they thought that I was a famous actor. I was kind of dressed up that night. I was feeling good about myself. And they thought that I was a famous actor. I'll let you guess which one you think it is. But anyway, and then I said the classic line that I think the actual people say when they want to throw people off the track. They say something like, I wish I had his money. So that's what I said. I said, I wish I had his money. The person, they thought that I was Terrence Howard. So they really thought I was him. So they sent me over drinks and all kind of stuff. So what I started doing was assuming that identity. I assumed that I was like a famous person, highly successful. And I started feeling and acting that way, and the universe was responding to that. It was responding to the signal that I was giving off. So the question is, it's not what you want, it's what are you consistently being. So we have this internal contradiction, and it creates resistance. One part of us wants wealth, freedom, and visibility, but the other part, it fears judgment, it procrastinates, it doubts itself. So you're getting all these mixed signals, and therefore you're getting these inconsistent results. So we have to give off a consistent signal. And how do we do that? We do that by developing real good habits. We do that by getting consistent at whatever it is that we're trying to do. Whatever we're working on, we have to gain some consistency. If you're an athlete, you have to work out every day, right? You can't take a day off. And it's the same thing with anything, with business. Maybe you're trying to learn something new. Maybe right now you're trying to learn about AI. And our world, which puts me off topic and puts me on another topic, in which our world is shifting right now before our very eyes. And all this technology and AI and all this is a big part of it. So learning some of this stuff is important. So if you want to learn about it, you have to start learning about it every day. You can't learn about it one day and take a day off and come back next week. You have to create some consistency. And by creating this consistency, you begin to emanate a certain frequency. And that core frequency is what begins to shape your reality. So, high level creators, people, performers, athletes, they don't chase motivation. They stabilize a new identity just long enough for reality to accept it as normal. So that's what it is that we have to do. A lot of us have an identity gap. Now, an identity gap equals delay. You ask yourself, if your goal disappeared for 30 days, would your habits still lead you there? That's a good question. What kind of habits do you have? Are you waking up early? Are you eating right consistently? Are you exercising? Are you reading? Are you studying? Are you getting plenty of rest? All this is it becomes part of who you are. And then this is the thing that shapes your reality. So if you're doing those things, but then you have contradictory behaviors, you're going to create this gap. And that's going to create resistance, going to create the frustration and self-sabotage. So just understand that your environment, it mirrors your certainty, not your desires, your certainty. Every hesitation, every doubt, it weakens your signal. Every aligned action strengthens it. One thing that I like to do is I like to take long walks, and I typically do them in the morning. And it's not real long, but maybe about 35, 40, 45 minutes, depending on certain situations. And what this does for me is it just gives me mental coherence. You get your heart and your brain kind of working as one, and your nervous system, it all begins to align. And this becomes habitual. So this has become who I am. And then this is the thing that begins to shape reality, is when you get that heart-brain coherence. And that's what we have to do with all of our habits and our disciplines. And as we do these things, reality has no choice but to bend to us. So it's a new identity. Your new identity, its new emotional state, its new standards. So if I'm making any sense to you right now, just share, subscribe, and stick with me. Another big part of all this breaking out of the matrix is creating some passive income, creating some residual income. The days of working for one company, we all know, for decades is long, long gone. That's over, been gone. So we have to find a way to create and be our own economies and create our own types of income. So residual income, some passive income is something to start thinking about. And what part of what we're doing over here is creating residual income through marketing some online products and tools and things of that nature. So if you had that idea and that's something that you want to pursue, and it's something that's very possible, and you're a beginner or an intermediate, or maybe you're an expert that knows how to do these things and are looking for a great product, if that's something that you're interested in, just comment down in the comments marketing and we'll get some information to you. So back to the conversation at hand, just understand that you have to create a magnetic frequency. You have to create and make a decision that's final. Stop reopening your decision. Decide once and move forward. Emotional neutrality. Don't let your emotions depend on the outcome. Stay stable regardless of the feedback. There's a popular book out right now called The Art of Not Giving a F, I'm going to say. And you can fill in the blanks. And that's what that's all about. It's not letting your emotion depend on the outcome. It's good if it works out. It's good if it doesn't work out. So it's an art, and it's something that's important to understand. Also, identify your repetition under pressure. Can you still think? Can you act and move? So move like your future self, even when nothing has changed. That's the real test. So here we go. This is how we're breaking out of the matrix. We're breaking these old patterns. We're embodying a new identity. And we're not negotiating with reality. We're instructing reality. So just understand your reality reflects your dominant identity. Mixed signals create resistance, and stability creates momentum. When you embody your future version of yourself, you stay emotionally stable and you repeat this identity consistently. Reality will organize around you. Like I always say, the only way out is in. Peace, one love, and control your destiny.